Mm. There is a specific frequency to a lie that has not yet been spoken but is already living in the room. It is not a sound, it is a subtraction. The air pressure drops by a fraction that the rational mind dismisses, but the body records. The pupils dilate half a millimeter too wide. The breath finds a shallower register. The smile arrives at the mouth a quarter second before it reaches the eyes, and in that gap, in that microscopic lag, the truth is already screaming. You have been standing in that gap for weeks, maybe longer. You have been holding the truth in your hands like a stone you are afraid to look at, because once you name its shape, you must decide what to do with its weight. You are not imagining this. Let me say that again. Because the part of you that has been trained to doubt your own perception needs to hear it in a voice that does not waver. You are not imagining this. The late arrivals that used to be early. The phone that suddenly needs to be face down. The stories that come with too many details. The kind of over-explanation that only happens when someone is building a wall brick by brick and calling it a window. The name that comes up too often, then not at all. The energy that leaves the room 30 seconds before their body does. You have noticed all of it. You have cataloged it with the precision that is your gift and your curse. You have made lists in your mind at 3 a.m, not because you are obsessive, but because your nervous system is trying to solve a puzzle that your heart already knows is solved. The answer is just not the one you wanted. They are involved with someone else, and they are hiding it, not in the way of a simple secret, not in the way of a forgotten mention or a casual omission that could be repaired with a conversation and a cup of tea. This is a hidden architecture, a parallel life, a second stream running beneath the surface of the river you thought you were navigating together, and the current of that hidden stream is pulling at the foundation of everything you believed was solid. You need to know this right now, not because the knowledge will destroy you, but because the not knowing already is. The not knowing is a slow poison administered in daily doses of maybe I'm crazy, and maybe if I just love them better, and maybe the problem is my need for certainty. The not knowing is the real affair. It is the affair they are having with your confusion, and it has gone on long enough. Let me tell you what your body has been trying to communicate while your mind has been negotiating with reality. Your sleep has been thin, not absent, but shallow. You wake up at times that feel significant but random. 2:22, 3:33, 4:44. And in those wakeful moments, you do not think of anything specific. You simply feel the absence of peace. Your digestion has shifted. Foods that never bothered you now sit like guilt in your stomach. Your jaw aches in the morning from the night work of holding back the questions your pride will not let you ask. Your skin has been speaking, too. Breakouts in places that do not follow hormonal patterns. A rash that appeared the week the story stopped adding up. These are not failures of your body. These are translations. Your body is the only part of you that has not agreed to the gaslighting. Your body is still telling the truth, while your mind attends meetings and makes excuses and performs the role of the partner who trusts. And the trust. Let us talk about the trust, because it is the weapon they have used against you without even knowing they were pulling the trigger. You gave them a trust that was not blind, it was earned. You watched them. You evaluated. You let them in slowly, layer by layer, because that is how you love. You do not scatter your devotion like confetti. You plant it. You tend it. You wait to see if the soil is worthy. And when you finally decided that it was, when you finally let the walls come down and allowed yourself to be seen in the full, unedited complexity of your need, your history, your hope, they took that trust and used it as cover. They used your reputation for stability, your unwillingness to make scenes, your rational nature as the perfect camouflage for their duplicity. They knew you would not snoop. They knew you would not scream. They knew you would sit with the discomfort and try to solve it like a math problem while they were out living a second equation entirely. This is the betrayal that cuts the deepest. Not the other person. The other person is almost irrelevant, a prop in the drama of their own fragmentation. The deepest cut is that they knew you. They knew exactly how to hide in plain sight because they had studied the blueprint of your integrity. They knew that your love was deep enough to create a shadow they could hide in. They knew that your loyalty was strong enough to hold the weight of their absence without snapping. They treated your devotion like a utility, like a background app that keeps running while they open other windows. And you feel it. Of course you feel it. You feel it in the moments when you are folding their clothes and a scent rises that is not yours and not theirs, but a third chemistry, a foreign frequency that makes your hands stop moving for a second before your mind catches up and invents a plausible explanation. You feel it in the changed password, the sudden need for privacy that was never there before, the way they say, I need space, and mean I need space to be someone else with someone else. You feel it in the gifts that arrive with the subtle aftertaste of guilt, the extra attentiveness that follows absence, the love-making that feels like an apology for something you have not yet been told. You feel it because you are Virgo, and your gift is not magic. Your gift is attention. Your gift is the inability to unsee what has already been seen by the part of you that does not use words. But here is what you need to understand, what you need to let sink past the shock and the grief and the rage that is still looking for a polite exit. They are not hiding this because you are insufficient. They are hiding this because they are broken. And broken people do not break others because they are evil. They break others because they are trying to distribute their own internal fracture across multiple surfaces so that no single surface has to bear the full weight of their collapse. They are involved with someone else not because that person is better than you, but because that person requires less of them. The other involvement is not an upgrade. It is a downgrade dressed in distraction. It is a relationship with a lower stakes table, a dimmer room, a partner who does not see them with the terrifying clarity that you do. You see them. You have always seen them. And being seen by you is exhausting for someone who has not yet decided who they want to be. So they hide. They compartmentalize. They build a partition between the life where they are accountable and the life where they are anonymous. In the life with you, they are known. In the life with the other, they are new. In the life with you, they are witnessed in their patterns, their wounds, their repetitions. In the life with the other, they get to perform a fresher version of themselves, one that has not yet disappointed anyone, one that has not yet failed the tests that your love inevitably administers simply by being real. The other person is not winning. The other person is being used as a vacation from the hard work of intimacy that you have been doing on their behalf for months, maybe years. And they will not tell you. Not because they are strategic masterminds, but because they are cowards who have mistaken their own paralysis for kindness. They tell themselves they are protecting you. They tell themselves the truth would hurt too much. They tell themselves they are waiting for the right time, the right mood, the right planetary alignment that will make the confession feel less like the detonation it is. But there is no right time. There is only the accumulating weight of the unsaid. And that weight is pressing down on your chest every night while they sleep soundly beside you or sleep elsewhere and text you lies about traffic and overtime and friends who needed them. They sleep because their fragmentation has created a false compartment where their actions do not connect to their conscience. You do not sleep because your integrity has no compartments. Your integrity is one room and everything enters it. You need to know this right now because the revelation is already in motion. The hidden thing is straining against its container. Secrets have a metabolism. They consume energy. They grow hair and teeth. They start to make noise in the walls of a relationship, and the noise is getting loud enough that other people are beginning to hear it. A mutual friend who looks at you with pity before they can correct their face. A family member who asks if everything is okay with a tone that suggests they already know it is not. The universe itself, which has been trying to show you through dreams, through synchronicities, through the sudden appearance of information that should have stayed buried, an email left open, a message glimpsed in a reflection, a name that keeps coming up in conversations that have nothing to do with the subject. The truth is not being revealed to destroy you. It is being revealed because you have outgrown the lie, because your soul will not permit you to live in a fiction anymore, even if the fiction is comfortable, even if the fiction is all you have, even if facing the fact means dismantling a life you have spent years assembling. You need to know this because your body is already preparing for the truth. The illnesses, the insomnia, the anxiety that your doctor cannot locate on any chart, these are not dysfunctions. These are evacuations. Your system is clearing out the space where the lie has been living rent-free. You are being emptied so that you can be filled with something real. And that process hurts. It hurts like a bone being reset. It hurts like a fever breaking. It hurts like the silence after a storm that you did not know was coming because you were too busy listening to their explanations. Now, let us talk about what you do with this knowing. Because knowing is not the same as acting, and you are standing in the most dangerous place a Virgo can stand. The place where you have enough information to make a decision, but you are still waiting for one more piece of evidence. You want the smoking gun. You want the confession in writing. You want to be 100% certain before you make a move because the alternative is chaos, and chaos is the enemy of everything you have built. But I am here to tell you that you will never have 100% certainty about a lie that is being actively concealed. The nature of deception is that it is designed to create plausible deniability. You will always be able to talk yourself down from the ledge of your own intuition if you demand courtroom standards of proof. You do not need proof. You need alignment. You need the courage to act on the knowledge that your body, your dreams, and your deepest self have already confirmed. This does not mean you need to explode. You do not need to become the person you do not want to be, the screamer, the detective, the destroyer of property, the public accuser. You do not need to match their chaos with your own. But you do need to stop pretending. You need to stop performing the role of the partner who is satisfied with half presence. You need to stop accepting the crumbs of attention they drop when their other life does not require them. You need to stop making excuses for their absences, their inconsistencies, their sudden need for privacy that was never part of the original contract of your intimacy. You need to stop editing yourself to fit into a story that has already been rewritten without your consent. The conversation is coming. Whether you initiate it or the universe initiates it for you through some unavoidable exposure, the conversation is coming. And you need to be ready. Not ready with a script. Not ready with evidence files and timelines and a PowerPoint presentation of their betrayals. Ready with your center. Ready with the knowledge that whatever they say, whatever they admit or deny or deflect, you are already okay. You were okay before them. You will be okay after them. Your okayness is not a loan they took out and are now refusing to pay back. Your okayness is the ground you stand on, and it does not shake because someone else is dishonest. When you speak, speak from that ground. Do not ask for details you do not need. Do not demand the name, the timeline, the sexual choreography of their other involvement, unless you truly believe that information will serve your healing. Most of the time, those details only wound more deeply. What you need to know is simple. Did they choose this? Did they choose to hide? Did they choose to let you invest in a shared future while they were building a present with someone else? And if the answer is yes, and the answer is yes, then what you need to know next is what you are going to choose. Because choice is the only currency that matters now. Their choice has already been made, repeatedly, in the dark, while you were sleeping or working or trusting. Now it is your turn to choose. And your choices are not limited to stay or leave. Your choices include stay and demand a complete excavation of the truth. Stay and watch to see if they are capable of the repair they have never had to perform before. Leave and rebuild. Leave and grieve. Leave and eventually discover that the space they occupied was actually blocking a door you could not see. None of these choices are wrong, but the choice to pretend is wrong. The choice to continue the gaslighting of yourself is wrong. The choice to swallow your knowing and let it metastasize into depression, into autoimmune confusion, into a slow erasure of your own vitality, that is the wrong choice, and it is the one you have been making day by day in the name of love, in the name of patience, in the name of not being that person who overreacts, who makes assumptions, who destroys a good thing with suspicion. But your suspicion is not suspicion, it is perception, and the good thing was already destroyed. You are just the only one who has been trying to keep the museum open after the artifacts have been stolen. You need to know this right now because time is not neutral. Every day you spend in the lie is a day you are not spending in the truth. Every day you spend managing their deception is a day you are not managing your own growth. Every day you spend wondering where they are is a day you are not present where you are. And you have too much work to do in this life to donate your presence to someone who treats it like a backup plan. You have too much clarity to offer the world to let it be dimmed by someone who needs your darkness to hide in. You have too much truth in your mouth to keep swallowing it because someone else cannot handle the taste. The other person, the one they are hiding, the one they are involved with, is not your enemy. They are another casualty, whether they know it yet or not. They are being fed the same diet of future promises and present absences. They are being told the same stories about timing and circumstances and why things are complicated right now. They are living in the same waiting room, just with different decor. Do not waste your energy hating them. Do not compare your worth to theirs. Do not try to figure out what they have that you do not. They have nothing that you do not have. They simply have a version of your person who is performing a role, and that performance has an expiration date. All performances do. The question is not whether they will be exposed. The question is whether you will still be standing there when the curtain falls, holding a ticket to a show that ended acts ago. You need to know this because your future is asking you to step into it. Your future is not a continuation of this present. Your future is a different country with different customs, where the currency is honesty and the passport is self-respect. You cannot enter that country while carrying the baggage of this lie. You cannot cross that border while pretending you do not know what you know. The border guard is your own soul, and your soul is tired of looking the other way. Your soul is ready to stamp the passport and let you through, but you have to approach the gate. You have to admit that you are leaving something behind. And yes, the grief of that admission is real. The life you thought you were building is real. The love you invested is real. The trust was real, even if the container it was poured into turned out to be cracked. Your part was real. Do not let their dishonesty convince you that your devotion was foolish. Your devotion was beautiful. It was just given to someone who could not hold it, and that is not your failure. That is their incapacity. So here is what happens next. The truth arrives. It might arrive as a confession, tearful and overdue. It might arrive as a discovery, accidental and devastating. It might arrive as a slow dawning that you can no longer outrun, a morning when you wake up and simply know that you are done. However it arrives, let it arrive. Do not duck. Do not cover your ears. Do not reach for the anesthesia of maybe it is not that bad. Let it be that bad. Let it be exactly as bad as it is, because the truth, however sharp, is a clean wound. It heals. The lie is the infection that festers. The lie is the splinter that works its way deeper while you pretend it is not there. And after the truth arrives, after the shock and the rage and the bargaining and the long nights of why and how and what did I miss, there will be a morning. It will not feel like the mornings you have known. It will feel empty, but an empty that is finally honest, an empty that is not pretending to be full. And in that honest empty, you will begin to remember yourself. The self who knew things before she was talked out of knowing them. The self who trusted her gut when her gut was the only thing making sense. The self who did not need a partner to be complete, who was complete before, who will be complete again. That self is waiting for you. She has been holding a place at the table. She has kept your seat warm. And when you finally sit down across from her, you will realize that the person you have been mourning is not the person they actually were. The person you have been mourning is the person you believed they could be. And that person never existed. They were a projection, a hope, a beautiful sketch of a building that was never constructed. The real building was always smaller, always shoddier, always hiding a second basement you were not allowed to enter. You need to know this right now because you are running out of time to not know it. Not because the world will end, but because your life is passing. Because the years you spend in the shadow of a lie are years that your light does not reach its intended destination. Because there is someone else out there, maybe not a lover yet, maybe a version of yourself, maybe a work, maybe a place who needs you fully present, fully available, fully undivided. And you cannot be those things while you are pouring your energy into the maintenance of a deception that is not even yours. You cannot be those things while you are holding your breath, waiting for the other shoe to drop, waiting for the proof to arrive, waiting for them to become the person they pretended to be at the beginning. They are not going to become that person. That person was the bait. The real person is the one who could look you in the eye and let you believe you were the only one while knowing you were not. That is who they are. Not the version you fell in love with, not the version who made the promises, not the version who held you in the dark and whispered things that felt like vows. Those were moments. They were not architecture. And you need architecture. You need a life that can hold weight. You need a love that can withstand the pressure of your full attention, your full intensity, your full Virgo capacity for devotion. You were not built for casual. You were not built for hidden. You were not built for maybe and almost and on the side. You were built for center. You were built for primary. You were built for a love that stands in the light and says, "This is mine and I am hers, and there is no shadow here." Anything less is a theft of your time, and the theft has gone on long enough. So take a breath. Let the knowing settle into your bones like a truth that has finally found its home. Let the grief come. Let the anger come. Let the strange, hollow relief of "I knew it" mix with the devastation of "I hoped I was wrong." Let all of it come. You are strong enough to hold it. You are strong enough to hold more than you know. And when the storm of knowing passes, you will find yourself standing in a clearing. The sun will be different there. It will not be the filtered light of a room where secrets are kept. It will be the direct, unforgiving, glorious light of a life that is finally, entirely, unmistakably your own. Walk toward it. Do not look back at the dark house. Do not wonder what they are doing in the rooms you have left. Do not check the windows from the street. Just walk. The truth has already done its work. It has set you free. And freedom, even when it hurts, even when it empties you out, even when it leaves you standing alone in a clearing with no map and no company, is still the only ground where real love can grow. You are not crazy. You are not too much. You are not imagining this. You are awake. And the awake life is the only one worth living. Go live it.